category, out of 4 out of 3, that means I should win the fight technically.
So as you all know, recently Sean Strickland beat Khamzat Chimaev, a fighter who honestly, I didn't think anyone would beat for a very long time. But in typical MMA fashion, and in typical UFC fashion, that was teeped into another dimension. Now what was left in its wake, you might ask? Well, some of the worst, most down bad cope we've ever seen. And look, there's different types of cope in MMA, right? There's, oh, it was short notice cope. There's, oh, he was injured cope. There's, JDM will be back, I swear, cope. Oh, JDM, fuck. But there's also a level of cope that transcends all other cope. And it's called the salty, biased MMA professional cope. So let me paint a picture for you guys. You know, there I was, eating my cereals, watching my normal weekly program of the Mighty Mouse Show. I'm sitting there, I'm vibing, I'm slurping down my milk, I'm crunching on the cereals. But then mid-watch, whilst I'm enjoying my show, I hear something that left me absolutely discombobulated. It was a take that was so horrendous, so hideous, I just had to make a video on it. And so today we'll be watching back parts of the Mighty Mouse Show, a show where he reflects, breaks down, and discusses the Khamzat vs Sean Strickland match. And in this video, we'll be discussing why the Mighty Mouse Copecast needs to stop. Take it away, Dana. Shut up, kid.
I was saying this in the first round, is that all this moving around, throwing Sean Strickland around, it takes a lot of energy. And, the second round, when Khamzat Chimaev came out, he was kind of a little bit gassed. He shot twice and he gave up on one of the shots.
Okay, so here, Mighty Mouse is talking through the first round a little bit, and he's discussing what we all saw. Khamzat worked hard for the submission and the control time, but ultimately, he couldn't really get anything off with it. Yes, this won him the first round, but coming into the second round, it also gassed him basically for the rest of the fight. He's then acknowledging he gave up on the next few takedowns, next few shots, because he was gassed. This will be key later on.
And right here, this was a big part of the fight right here. Shoots, and then he pulls guard. And honestly, now when we sit here, we think about it, pulling guard when you feel a shot is not a bad option, but I think there are better options.
Okay, yes. Pulling guard isn't a bad option, right? If you're fucking Charles Oliveira. But last I checked, Khamzat's last name was Chimaev, not Oliveira, and he's not Brazilian. So really, it's just a stupid opinion. I think it's safe to say that Khamzat went to his back because he got clipped and he was gassed. Sean Strickland then sprawled on his sloppy takedown, and he went to his back and pulled guard only because it was the last line of defense. It wasn't a strategic option. So let's not act like, oh, it's a good idea. Going to your back isn't such a bad thing. Well, it is when you're Khamzat Chimaev and you've just lost all your aura.
You fail the shot, you come up to a clinch work, and you start working the knees and clinching the elbows. But Khamzat Chimaev pulled guard, and that's when Sean Strickland followed him in the guard and started peppering him. And that was
And now again, yes, it's a good decision, maybe in an alternate fight, if it's actually a part of your game. When do we ever see Khamzat clinching, kneeing, and striking, like an Islam Makhachev? Yes, it's a good skill set to have, if you have that skill set. This has nothing to do with the situation at play, and it's just cope.
And there's a picture-perfect jab from Sean Strickland. A lot of you guys think I hate Sean Strickland. I don't hate the man. Hate's a very strong word, but look at that beautiful jab.
Okay, so here you say you don't hate Strickland. Hate is a strong word, which it is. The only person I hate is Ian Gary. But you also didn't say you don't dislike him, but you might dislike him, and you might like Khamzat. So this is going to make your take very biased, which is important information when people are listening to an analytical breakdown. From one of the goats of the sport. But we will discuss this bias later on in the video. Actually, if I'm going to make serious points, let me take off the Dana White bald cap. Oh, I said take it off. Wait, I did. That's just my fucking horrendous hairline. Ew.
And there's a beautiful right hand from Khamzat Chimaev. Now, Khamzat Chimaev did have some success on the feet when it came to the fight, when it came to the fight between him and Sean Strickland, it just wasn't enough to sway the judges in his favor, even though he had more control time.
Okay, so this is fair. You know, saying Khamzat did well in the striking, he did. It was very close, right? But mentioning the control time is redundant. It doesn't apply to basically any round except for the first. The rest of the control time was minimal. So let's not add them together, the striking and the control time, because that's cope. You know, because this sport is scored round to round. It's called round-based scoring. You know, it's not like he controlled him every single round. If Khamzat controlled him for the remaining rounds, and then they both landed equal punches or close to equal, then yes, it would lean in his favor. That is when control time matters. And DJ knows this. He also knows that damage trumps all.
Sean Strickland did land more of the significant strikes, but Khamzat Chimaev did land more takedowns. So it all is based on what the judges wanted to score and what they deemed was more of a damage and what was more scored higher.
Okay, so you said it yourself. Sean won more on damage. Khamzat more on control time. It then comes down to what the judges think. What's more important, damage or control time? Which you and I and everyone watching this video knows is damage. Damage trumps all. We know this. You know this. Everyone knows this. Stop playing dumb.
Right? I mean, that's the thing. We have a criteria that we try to score the fight on, but do we actually follow that criteria?
Yes, we do follow it.
Like, if I control somebody for 6 minutes and, you know, they outlanded me, but I press forward in the fight for this long and it scores high on that category, do you guys even give me points for that? Or are you guys just like, oh, you won that category, but we don't give a shit?
Okay, so you got 6 minutes of control time in a 25-minute fight, and in this fight, you also pushed forward. Now, when we compare this to 19 minutes of being punched in the face, and with round-based scoring, you know, being a thing, all of your control time was predominantly in the first round, which you won. It has nothing to do with the rest of the fight. Yes, we do award you for that control time, but we don't then ignore every single round after that. The rounds where you walked into range, being the aggressor, getting punched in the face. If someone's a counter striker and they're on the back foot and they're beating you up, should they lose the fight because you slowly walked into range and got punched in the face? No. That doesn't make fucking sense.
Oh, look, I'm the aggressor. Oh, but I got 6 minutes of control time.
Khabib Nurmagomedov talked about, like, you know, his game plan. He never deviated from the game plan, meaning that when Khabib Nurmagomedov would fight, he would take the person down. So if he shot and he failed the first one, he shot again, he failed, he will continue to shoot until he got that takedown because he knows that's where he's going to be able to break his opponent.
Okay, so here we're talking about Khabib and his game plan to spam takedowns non-stop. Now, Khabib's game plan was to shoot takedowns non-stop because that was the only thing he could do. Yes, it was dominant and destroyed everyone, but he didn't have striking on the feet. The only reason his striking landed at times was because people were so scared of his takedowns. Khamzat is a completely different fighter. He can obviously stand, he can obviously knock people out, and he's also dominant at grappling. These two should not be compared to each other. Khamzat stopped wrestling because if he kept wrestling, like Khabib's game plan, he would have been finished. He would have continuously got sprawled on, he would have got shucked off, and he would have been back, lying in cockroach guard, with his hands and legs up in the air, being worked by Sean Strickland. He got up to his feet and used his striking because he could. He's a well-rounded fighter. And striking and having a jab match with Sean Strickland is way less taxing on your cardio system.
Oh, he should have kept shooting takedowns. He didn't follow the plan.
That plan would have got him finished. He's lucky he didn't follow that. If Khamzat could have come out and spammed takedowns like Marab or like Khabib, he would have. But in this fight, he couldn't. In this fight, he would have been finished if he did that. Stupid take.
Because he knows that's where he's going to be able to break his opponent. Where Khamzat Chimaev, he shot 3 times, and the first time he got it, the other 2 times he failed it, and then he shot again later in the round. But he kind of deviated from his game plan and said, all right, I'm just gonna jab.
Again, it's because he had no other option. Shoot and gas even more and get sprawled on, or stand up and have a striking battle with Sean Strickland where you almost win, or, you know, the other option, end up flat on your back, probably getting TKO'd.
So with this fight, you know, Khamzat Chimaev took it down a lot more, but he wasn't able to do anything with the grappling. So he relied on the feet and got outstruck by Sean Strickland. So there's
Yes, he did get outstruck by Sean Strickland.
And this was a takedown. He was able to succeed. I believe it was in the 4th round that he went for the takedown. And the thing is, he was able to take down Sean Strickland. He just wasn't able to do anything with the takedown. Now, we don't know how the judges view that in their eyes.
Yes, we do. You just said it. He wasn't able to do anything with the takedowns, and then we don't know how the judges score it. We do. We do know how the judges score it. They score based on damage trumping all. You know this. You are the elite of the elite. You break down these fights now as a job. You understand the scoring criteria probably better than anyone else. You are purposely letting your bias come into play. You're acting dumb so that you can continue to cope. Look, DJ, you are a huge voice for the MMA world. A lot of people have faith in you, and a lot of people trust your word. Don't play dumb and say that you don't understand or we don't understand how it's scored. Like it's some magical thing we can't figure out. All you have to do is fucking Google it, and it's right there. UFC, MMA scoring criteria, explained. Fucking AI will tell you. Just type it in. It'll take 30 seconds. 30 seconds and the ability to read.
Obviously not very high because he landed like 8 takedowns and then he gave 2 shits about it. Beautiful takedown from Hamza Chimaev. Right here, and then let's take a look at this. So you have 98 to 133. He wins it, right? So we get this one to Sean Strickland. 43% advancing. Okay, we don't know how the fuck they scored advancing. We don't know how they scored, boys. I don't know how they scored. 9. He wins that category. And then 6 minutes of control time. He wins that. So if we have 4 categories and I beat you out of those 4 categories, 4 out of 3, that means I should win the fight technically.
43% of the fight you advanced, but get overly damaged because of it. You shoot 9 takedowns, of which only 1 really wins you a round, and the rest gasses the fuck out of you. And of those takedowns, you get 6 minutes of control. And 4 minutes of those roughly were probably spent in the first round. According to DJ and these statistics, that is enough to win the fight. Come on, man. It's got to be rage bait. You can't be making this argument. It's an insult. It's an insult to everyone's intellect. And I know as MMA fans, we're not that smart, but we're also not this dumb. So do better.
Right? We played rock, paper, scissors 4 fucking times. You beat me once and I beat you 3 times. I believe I'm the winner. So, with that being said, I don't know why they show these fight statistics. Because if I never watched the fight and I look at these, I would assume Hamza Chimaev won the fight.
Now later on, DJ does explain that these stats right here shouldn't be shown. Because they might confuse new people. But that's exactly what you're doing. You are doing that exact same thing. Just call it how it is. Damage trumps all. Takedowns, yes, they're good. But they either need to set up submission attempts or help you land ground and pound. Advancing means fuck all. If I'm on the back foot and I'm beating the shit out of you, but you're walking forward into the range like a blockhead, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm winning that round. And 9 takedowns, they mean nothing. If I sprawl out on you, I gas you, and I land damage on you because of those failed 9 shots, like Strickland did for the majority of them, I'm winning that round. And the control time that won him the first round, that was ultimately his demise. That's what gassed him the most. Usually, that's his blade that finishes his opponent. But now it's a double-edged sword, because it gassed him out, he blew his load, and really forced him to have a striking battle with Sean Strickland for the remaining 20 minutes.
So I think they either have to put some stank or some respect on these numbers or fucking get rid of them.
DJ, you're the elite of the elite, the best of the best. Don't do this cope and try walk around what you already know to be true. And yes, this logic counts in the context of winning each individual round. And yes, these stats are stupid. But if you just watch the fight and you see those stats, you can use your brain to decode them. You're not just gonna not watch the fight and look at the statistics. The ones that are only shown at the very end of the broadcast. after the fight you just watched. And as I said, yes, these stats are still dumb. Dumb, but also apparent. If you just watch the fight and you have half a brain, you can decode and remember how they pertain to the fight. It's up to the fans to recall in their noodle how they played out.
Because it doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me anything of why the athlete won or why he should have won, or I don't know why.
But I thought we were watching the Rock, Paper, Scissors Championship.
Now anyway, let me discuss why this shit me so much. As I said, Mighty Mouse is one of the GOATs of the sport. He comes from a division that you need to have basically maxed out athleticism, maxed out fight IQ, maxed out cardio, maxed out everything to dominate and do well. He had all of these attributes. His word goes a long way in this sport, especially when compared to dumbass UFC watchers like myself. But it's in that reason why he needs to be called out. If you have all of these people believing in you, watching you, and you're doing analytical breakdowns, you need to be non-biased. You need to not act like you don't know what the rules are. We don't know. The judges just figure it out on their own. Because number one, it makes you look retarded. And number two, new fans will be looking to you. They're going to be watching you for guidance on this sport. As I said, you're the mastermind. You're the analytical genius. You're breaking down the void in the fight. Don't pretend that you don't know that damage trumps all. And in a fight where a fighter won based on damage, just say that. Even if it's one of your friends losing. Look, just do what Volk does. Just be super open with your bias. He's like, yeah, these my boys, they're Australian, you know, fucking, they're gonna win. And then he gives his analytical breakdown on why he thinks that. But you know going into it, he's heavily biased. That's all you need to do. You know, don't go in with this even mentality like, I'm on no one's side. But look at that takedown percentage. Oh, he was being aggressive. Oh, the control time. It's just dumb. DJ in this video did spend a lot of time giving props to Sean Strickland, so go and watch the video yourself. Don't take these sound bites and just assume that he was completely coping the whole time. DJ's video will be linked in the description down below. I don't hate Mighty Mouse. I enjoy watching his content. This is just one of those things where I thought, I don't fucking like that. Let's not do that. But yeah, check out the DJ video. After that, come back and watch all my videos. I'm down bad for analytics. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Yeah. Seriously though, subscribe. Guys, let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you thought of DJ's cope session. And I'll be seeing you guys for another video very soon. Peace out.